Hello everyone, I'm Yum. Welcome to the Candlelight Tales channel. Here on this channel, I share captivating novels and stories. If you enjoy reading or listening to stories, you're very welcome here. And if you like my content, please remember to subscribe, share, and give it a like. Now, without further delay, let's dive into today's story. In the previous episode, we learned that the ambitious Gudapeng deceived his teammates Falazzi and Geli by feeding them falsified flight data, making them believe they were piloting the ship toward Mars for a mission. In reality, he was steering the ship toward the sun, intending to harness its infinite energy to carry out his plan to rule Earth. But after encountering a mysterious cosmic shockwave, they were thrown from the year 2064 back to 1964. And from the sky, they saw the plane carrying Bai Su. Gudapeng used the plane as the testing ground for his ambition. He brought all passengers aboard the ship and forced them to swear loyalty. Only Bai Su refused. So he brought Wesley to the ship, hoping Wesley would persuade her. But the two would rather become living specimens than submit. In the end, Gudapeng realized that history recorded no ruler named Gudapeng in 1964, meaning his plan was destined to fail. After erasing the memories of the other passengers and sending them safely back to Earth, the ship encountered another cosmic shockwave. This time, it did not return them to Earth. Instead, they drifted into an endless expanse of deep blue. No stars outside the ship. All display instruments were dead. They had no way of knowing where they were. Gudapeng, Falazzi, and Geli inspected the ship's systems. The power core was intact, but several calculators and display units had malfunctioned. With repairs, they believed they could restore them. After a round of repairs, the three returned to the main control room, all wearing deeply troubled expressions. Gudapeng pointed at a monitor. The screen showed nothing but deep blue. He explained that the image represented conditions 10 light-years away. In other words, even if they traveled at the speed of light for 10 years, they would still see nothing but this endless blue void. Suddenly, Falazzi seemed to notice something. What is that? What is that? Gudapeng stood up and adjusted several controls. Dozens of needles trembled violently before finally settling. He said, "This layer has a composition similar to Earth's atmosphere: oxygen, nitrogen, and trace gases. Humans could survive here. If there is a planet nearby, it must be extremely similar to Earth. But there is none." Geli suddenly said, "Navigator, maybe not. The imaging tube is jammed, it can only capture one direction. There might be celestial bodies in other directions. And according to the power readings, we're moving at a speed far beyond our propulsion capacity. That suggests gravitational pull, meaning a planet might be nearby." Gudapeng gave a bitter smile. "Let's hope so." Before he finished speaking, one of the monitors flickered. A faint glow appeared, a celestial body. Its light was soft, pale blue, with crystalline edges. Beautiful. To those lost in space, the sight was electrifying. Gudapeng worked quickly. 5 minutes later, he announced, "It's a planet. At our current speed, we will collide with its surface in 71 hours and 15 minutes. The three continued repairing the remaining instruments. Wesley and Bai Su monitored the approaching planet. As it grew closer, it became even more beautiful, entirely covered in that soothing pale blue. Was there life on this world? Would its inhabitants be friendly? Whatever the case, landing somewhere was better than drifting endlessly through space." Gudapeng's calculations were precise. After more than 70 hours, the ship entered the planet's atmosphere. Violent turbulence shook the vessel. When everything finally calmed, they slowly stood up. The ship had not landed upright, likely due to incomplete repairs, and had toppled onto its side. The door was sideways. They had to climb out. Following Gudapeng out of the shock absorption chamber, they saw that the landing impact had damaged some instruments, and the ship had sunk into a mass of minerals. Gudapeng thought for a moment and ordered, "Prepare oxygen masks, weapons, and personal flight belts. We're going outside." Falazzi and Gelly distributed equipment. Gudapeng briefly taught Wesley and Bai Su how to use the gear and handed each of them a beam-firing weapon, a death ray gun. They flew out of the crater created by the ship's impact. At first, they saw only black, glittering minerals. Higher up, they found a layer resembling Earth's soil, pale yellow and crumbly. Above that lay a vast expanse of blue material. The higher they flew, the colder it became. The blue layer felt like ice. The flight belts were fast, yet it still took 3 minutes to clear the crater. Standing at the rim, they saw an endless field of blue ice beneath a blue sky. The planet's surface seemed to contain nothing but ice. Even at the crater's edge, the ice layer was 20 feet thick. No one spoke. Gudapeng said, "This planet's surface is saturated with a strange form of radiation." He pointed to his handheld instrument. He turned to Wesley and Bai Su. "The flight belts are designed for this. They generate an air shield to protect the user from radiation." Walking on the ice felt like walking on frozen ground on Earth. Gudapeng warned them to minimize contact with the ice surface. He continued, "This planet is covered in radioactive dust. The kind produced only by an enormous nuclear explosion. If it were natural, the surface temperature would be thousands of degrees like the sun. It wouldn't be frozen." He suggested returning to the ship to gather supplies and build an ice glider for exploration. They divided tasks. Gudapeng, Falazzi, and Gelly returned to the ship. Wesley and Bai Su continued exploring the ice. They agreed to regroup in 4 hours. After some time, Wesley and Bai Su found a silver metal rod embedded in the ice. Bai Su pulled it out. 2 lines of English letters were engraved on it, each letter recognizable, but the meaning incomprehensible. They had no idea what the rod was for. But they were certain it was not natural. Someone, or some advanced species, had once lived here. Perhaps they were wiped out by the nuclear explosion Gudapeng mentioned. After 2 hours of searching with no further discoveries, they headed back. On the way, they encountered Gudapeng piloting a small craft, with Falazzi and Gelly aboard. Bai Su handed the metal rod to Gudapeng. His expression changed. He flicked the rod lightly. It emitted a strange metallic resonance. "This is a highly sensitive antenna," he said. But when he saw the engraved text, his face darkened. Falazzi and Gelly leaned in, their expressions also turned grim. Clearly, they couldn't understand the message either. Gudapeng examined the rod repeatedly. "Whoever made this, their civilization surpasses ours. Their industrial level is above ours." He looked up. "Our craft isn't fast, but we can circle this planet in 3 days. Let's see what else we can find." Wesley and Bai Su boarded the small craft. The transparent dome closed, and the craft shot forward, returning to the site of the metal rod. Gudapeng stopped the craft and activated its drill. In moments, a large hole was carved into the ice. Suddenly, Falazzi shouted. A black square object appeared in the ice, a display unit. Gudapeng immediately stopped the drill. Gelly leapt out, retrieved the device, and brought it inside. Gudapeng pressed several buttons. The screen flickered, it seemed to power on. He inserted the metal rod into the device and carefully adjusted the controls. The screen displayed faint, flickering lines. "I'm certain this planet was once visited by beings more advanced than us," he said. They stepped out of the craft and looked into the 3-foot-wide hole. Inside lay a humanoid figure frozen in the ice. They pulled the body out. It was a man in his early 30s, brown-haired, wearing a gray uniform resembling a work suit. A watch was strapped to his left wrist. He looked entirely human. Had Gudapeng not stopped the drill in time, the body would have been destroyed. The man was about 5'9", his muscles stiff, frozen for who knew how long. Gudapeng searched the pit but found nothing else. The man carried nothing. They returned to the craft, but the atmosphere had grown heavy. Finding a human corpse was far more unsettling than discovering an alien one. What was this place? Why was a human here? Were there others? How did they perish? And why were they entombed in ice? No one dared voice these questions. The craft flew for 12 hours. Nothing but ice. Then, they saw something rising from the smooth surface. They landed and stepped out. Before them stood what looked like a Chinese-style tomb, a half-dome stone structure. In front of it lay a broken gravestone. Through the ice, they could clearly read the carved Chinese characters. Tomb of Yun. If the upper half of the stone were intact, it would likely read Tomb of Mr. X Yun. Wesley and Bai Su were stunned. This was proof that humans had once lived on this planet, and the writing was Chinese, not some unknown script. The closer the relics felt to their own culture, the more desolate their hearts became. Was this the fate awaiting them as well? Falazzi retrieved a sonic disintegrator from the craft. Gudapeng took it, pressed several buttons, and the 1-foot-thick ice covering the tomb shattered and fell away. They found another stone tablet beneath it. Here rests Gui Yun. Beside it, smaller characters read 24th year of Guangxu, Qing dynasty, erected by his filial son. Falazzi and Gelly clearly didn't understand the text. Wesley explained it in English. It meant that in the 24th year of Emperor Guangxu, 1899, a man named Gui Yun died, and his son built this tomb for him that same year. Falazzi and Gelly turned pale. The 24th year of Guangxu. 1899. It was unmistakable. This was not an unknown planet. This was the Earth. People from 1964 and 2064 had arrived on a planet that was both familiar and alien, a frozen Earth. What catastrophe had turned the Earth into ice? Did the intense radiation mean a nuclear apocalypse had occurred? Who caused it? In the next episode, we continue exploring this strange, familiar Earth. If you enjoy my channel, remember to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. Thank you all for your support. Goodbye.